Well, hello.
Hey.
Well, happy Tuesday.
Yeah, another one. Been a long one.
And we're both wearing blue on coincidence. Coinky dink.
I know I'm wore out today. I've been working 12-hour shifts the past few days.
I've been working, but not 12 hours. My problem is I'm kind of insomniac. So, like, when I sleep, it's more like a series of naps than it actually is a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
So I'll sleep like an hour and a half, get up, wake up anyway, then doze back off for another little bit, and then wake up. So it's just like constant broke. So this morning I woke up at 4:30, right? Like too early for work, but too late to go back to sleep type of deal. And, you know, it's kind of crazy. But anyway, guys, we got a poll pinned with the Apis Biologics. You know, some people can't go to the Hive Life conference. We get that. So putting a poll up because there's a chance that we'll do a pre-order so people can order it. And, you know, the only thing we really don't know is what the shipping would be from our location to your location, right? So that's the only thing that we're trying to figure out. So we're trying to gauge a little interest on the poll. And Lee did find the poll button, but Bob ran the poll.
Yeah. Bob was looking for the poll. He couldn't find it.
So, yeah, little bipolar tonight. So but yeah, that's kind of it, man. So, hey, I got this random call today from this guy named Randy McCaffrey. I'm in my truck, right? And phone rings and it comes up on the stereo, right? Dirt Rooster. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't think Dirt Rooster's ever called me. So, you know, I'm the first person calling, then he might have to call back. So the funny thing is that I was like, I was pretty excited when the phone rang, right? I was like, Dirt Rooster calling. What's Dirt Rooster want, right? You know what he wants? Lee's number. I'm like, what? He wants Lee's number. He didn't even want to talk to me. But anyway, I'm not going to spill the beans on what Dirt Rooster called Lee about, but I'll let Lee spill the beans on what Dirt Rooster called Lee about.
What's his name? Terry Chapman with Guardian Bee Apparel is coming down to Mississippi Gulf Coast this weekend, and he has chartered a fishing boat for the evening of Sunday. And they decided a couple of beekeepers going to get together and take a 4-hour tour offshore, do a little fishing.
That's how Gilligan's Island started, on a 4-hour tour.
I thought the same thing when he texted me and it said 4 hour. I'm thinking Gilligan's Island.
So you're going to be going fishing with Guardian Bee Apparel and Dirt Rooster.
And Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed's going too?
Mr. Ed's coming. Terry Chapman's dad's coming, and they said possibly a few others.
Wait a minute. How? It's starting in Biloxi, right?
Yep.
Let me see. Distance to Biloxi. I might have to get sick next week. Now, it's a 10-hour drive to go 4 hours of fishing.
And the only thing I'm worried about, I was looking at the weather, and we got some rain coming in Saturday night, and it looks to about halfway through Sunday.
So you
And that's in the
basically
Biloxi area.
got to drive the boot. You got to drive the long part of Louisiana to get there, right?
It's probably an hour and a half, maybe.
That's it? Only an hour and a half?
Oh, yeah. I don't think, heck, let me see. I don't know if it's that far. It may be a little further. I may be off, which is pretty likely.
Well, now, when he talked to me on the phone, I did give some people that I knew lived in that area's names out. So if you get a random phone call or maybe a random email, you could be one that I gave a name out. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Normally, if it's a number that ain't saved in my phone, I usually don't answer because they got so many spam calls going around now. So when the number popped up, I knew it was a Mississippi number. But just yesterday, I got a call from Texas. As soon as it stopped ringing, I got a call from Florida. I'm like, nah, they just trying Mississippi today. So he turned around and texted me and let me know it was him. So I called him back. It looks like 2 hours and 6 minutes from my house.
Oh, you could just get up like a regular day for work then and drive there in the morning.
I'll probably leave about 9 o'clock, get there early, maybe ride around town and get a bite to eat before we hit the water, and hope don't get a seasick.
Just get in line before Randy does.
He called me today. He was at a gas station waiting on him to finish making some more food.
Yeah, I was joking with him because he said, "Oh man, I just got up." I'm like, "It's noon." He's like, "Well, I get up in the morning, or I sleep, then I get up and eat breakfast, then I go back and take a nap, then I get up and eat lunch, then I take my afternoon nap and get up and eat dinner."
That must be nice. I've been getting up between 3 and 3:30 every morning, and getting home about 6:15 in the evening.
I got off early. I mean, I've been selling some stuff, so it's been pretty good. I got a sick story to tell you. I think I told you. I might have told you already. But anyway, I got a call to an apartment complex to treat them for fleas. So I go in there, and they had an eviction notice, boom, on the door, right? The sheriff's department comes and then posts it up on the door, right? You got so much time to get out. And I go in there. I open the door, I go to the back, and I start treating for the flea treatment, working out towards the door, right? So if you come in, picture a rectangle, and the living room's on one side, and the dining room's on the other side by the front door. But there's a little strip like galley kitchen in between the two. So I come out, do the living room, come around, dining room, and I walk into the kitchen to spray in the kitchen. And there's a whole bunch of these blue Walmart plastic bags on the floor, and laying on top of them plastic bags is a dead cat just laying in the room. It's like they just left the cat and all their crap, a lot of their stuff left behind. So yeah,
that ain't no good.
The stuff you see is kind of crazy what people do. Most states, I mean, you could actually go to jail for something like that.
Animal cruelty.
And I mean, you just leave them, don't leave them no feed, don't leave the toilet open. If they want to get some water or something, they can at least get some water, you know what I mean?
Something.
So yeah, that was terrible. Well, there is the fleas, that's right.
Heck, even if I go out of town for, just like a day and a half, I call my neighbor down the road. He would come down here, feed, water the chickens, water the dogs, everything for me. See, even if I leave a bunch out, he'll call and say, "Hey, they still got some, but I finished filling it up just to make sure."
Oh, wow. Flower Street's going from Colorado to Hive Life.
Heck yeah.
I need to get a ticket, bro. I still ain't got a ticket. I still don't have a ticket.
I got a message the other day, Grayson, and they only got their tickets.
Yeah, I saw that. And that's considered a pest, and you're the pest control guy. No, I didn't know the cat's still there. Matter of fact, I went in the office and said, y'all gonna have a heck of a time cleaning that place up. I said, y'all got a dead cat right in the kitchen. And they're like, what? I said, yep. I said, here's my bill. See you later. And I was out. Yeah, I do. See, guys, I want to go so bad, but it's like one of those things. My mom's got Alzheimer's. My wife is here with her all the time, and I go to work, then I do these lives and stuff. And then on top of that, I got pigs, chickens. The bees, obviously, they'll do their own thing during that time. But dogs, it's just a lot to leave on somebody. And if she goes, then my sister might take my mom, but then I don't have anybody, like you just said, to feed the chickens and the pigs and everything.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. So
I'm pretty lucky where I'm at. I got a couple of people that I've grown up with here still in the neighborhood. And then my sister and them, they 20 minutes away, maybe. They pass by here a lot, so I can get them to do stuff. Yeah, if you got, whether it's a small homestead, small farm, or a large scale farm, it's hard to go out of town.
yeah, it is.
It's like even being a beekeeper. I mean, if it's early to mid spring, you can't really go anywhere. You got too much work to do.
That's true.
You got to watch your swarms. You got to make sure supers are on.
Well, I won't release that information yet. I did order the products we talked about today. They are on the way. Remember?
Okay, yeah. All right, I got them.
I did order that. So I'll wait till I got that concocted first, and then
the other one you said you ain't got to speak of, that wouldn't be a weird joint type corner you were thinking about, huh? A box?
No, that I'm waiting on that. That hasn't come yet.
Yeah, he called me the other day. We're gonna get together on that and do a little testing.
Oh, he's gonna let you test it too?
Yep.
Cool.
But we can't say nothing yet, really. I'm not gonna say anything until we get it and try them out and see how everything goes.
Yep, that's the plan. So got that going. At the price of hotels I can't afford. I know. Well, the good thing is, you could always drive out of town and just get up and drive in for the show. So, I mean, there are other smaller towns that are.
I think I looked the other day. It's about a 10-hour drive for me for the conference.
It's about half of that for me. I think like 4.5, 5 hours for me.
But I think we're going to leave here probably, I'm figuring either the evening of the 3rd or early morning of the 4th. So I want to get up there to be able to relax. And we're going to do the meet and greet that Thursday night, I believe, on the 5th.
Well, hey, do we still have that video link? Do I have the video link? Can I show that video, or would you be mad about it, Lee, if we showed that little 3-minute video again? Because some people were not here when we showed it the other night.
Oh, okay. That's up to you. Heck, we on your channel tonight.
Well, I just want to, I got to find it. Where the heck is it? The link. Where is the link? All right. Hold on. It's coming up. And I got to wait for this.
Yeah, Dennis, I know what you're talking about, them hotels. I'm staying at the one that's on the site of the conference itself, and it's got a little bit higher price than most, but I figured it being right there on the same premises, it would be easier than having to drive and getting traffic and everything else up there.
Let's see. All right. So in case you didn't see our live stream the other night, I'm going to share a video or a real quick one. Oh, make sure I click the share system audio. Lee will get mad at me.
See, I'm teaching you.
He is. He's learning me, guys. He's learning me. All right. I think you guys recognize this feller. Pretty sure. Let me hide this. See, look, Lee, I'm learning. And it's a short 3-minute video, guys. So let's listen to Cayman. Maybe. Play.
Hi, it's Cayman Reynolds, and I've got something crazy going on, crazier than usual. At the Hive Life Conference, we're going to try to get a semi-load or close to it of global patties. They're, in my opinion, the best patty out there. I tried them out this year with a couple other types. They're consumed the fastest. The bees like them more. It's pretty obvious. And these are going to be even better than what I tried out in the spring and in the summer, because they're going to have what we like to call Canadian rocket fuel. Apis Biologics makes this product, and it really stands alone as the best product out there for honeybees as far as nutrition goes. They have studied and mimicked pollen and mimicked nectar, and the stuff that they have in here with the ratios is just truly a cut above the average supplement, which a lot of times leaves us scratching our heads going, is this really doing anything? This stuff targets the hypopharyngeal gland, which is what creates royal jelly, worker jelly, and all of the things that our bees need to be able to produce pheromones properly, jelly properly, all of these things that are so critical and happen in such a short period of time in the bee's short lifespan. So these are going to be the most cool patties that you can get at the best price that you can get as well. We're going to be able to get these for like $1.40 a piece without pollen. If you get the 4% pollen content, it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be about $1.62. And then if there's 15% pollen content, and all these have this in there as well, then it's going to be around $2 a pound. However, that's counting if we have to pay shipping. So if we can get a semi-load or close to it and get the shipping waived, we'll be able to drop that price even more. So if you go online right now and look at how much it's going to cost you to get 10 pounds, 20 pounds of pollen patties, it's going to be a pretty good amount, and they're not going to be as good as these, absolutely. So I'm going to leave a link down below where you can look at it and see if you want to order 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 100 pounds. There are some companies that are actually going to be stocking this. One of them is buying 3 pallets of this already. So we do have some help from the companies who are going to take this and sell it at their stores. And they're going to be able to have great margins because they can't get a pallet or 2 for this price either. We have forklift access at the conference. So if you're wanting a lot of it and need help loading it up, we've got the crew members to help you. We've got the equipment to help you. But hey, if you're a hobby beekeeper and you just want 10 pounds, then we still have you covered. You still get the same price and get to save money and give your bees the best nutrition you can. So check it out below. Comment below if you have any questions. And this is all very tentative still. We're going to see what we can do. I'll keep you posted. If we can get enough people to make this order work, then we're all going to benefit from it. If not, we're not taking any money right now, so we're just going to contact you all afterwards. So leave your email and stuff below. And if it works out, we'll send you an email and say, hey, this is how much we're going to have for you. Pick it at the conference this time, and you'll save money. Your bees will be healthier. And we'll get to support a company, actually multiple companies, that really care about honeybees and have to do it right, because this is all they do. They can't support themselves on 200 products because all they do is 1 or 2 things. And they have to do it at a very high level. So thanks for watching this video. We'll see you at the Hive Life Conference, and join us in buying some crazy pollen patties with some Canadian rocket fuel.
All right, there you go. We'll stop screen share, and that's that. So that's what the poll is about, guys. If you're not able to come to the Hive Life Conference, the poll is more about if you would pre-order it, then I would take pre-orders from the site and get it and then mail it. But we'd have to figure out what the shipping is. That's what we're going to work on. So that's what the whole poll is about, and working that way. Hey, Ed. And so, yeah.
I've heard some of them say that $2 a pound sounds kind of high, but really you think about it, ain't. A lot of people was buying the Ultra Bee pollen patty sub from Man Lake. It's 40 pounds for $103. So what's that figure per pound?
Oh, for pollen patties?
Yeah. Let's see. 103 divided by 40. You're looking at $2.57 a pound, and that's for a pollen substitute patty with no real pollen in it.
Right.
Either the global patties with real pollen in it and the Apis Biologic. For on the top end, if you get the 15% pollen, $2 a pound. So that ain't bad.
Yeah. So that was my thought. I think it's $2.08 a pound for the 15% pollen patty. 4% is $1.62, and no pollen, $1.44 a pound. So I think it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out, some of us are trying to figure out how much to start. See, the thing is with pollen patties, it's got a shelf life, right? So either you got to have it in a freezer, refrigerator, or something. So I don't have space to just leave it stored for a long period of time. So that's why we do a pre-order, just like we did on the Apis, right? And then as soon as we got home with it, basically slap labels on it and send it out. So that's the thing that we're working on, at least. And then a couple other things I'm working on, at least one in particular, and we'll see how that shakes out, so to speak. But yes, that's it. So Lee's going fishing. We know that. And Hive Life coming up. I really haven't done anything with my bees other than I put out some open feed. I put it out late yesterday, but they didn't really do much with it yesterday. But today they were pounding it when I got home. So
I finally pulled a little bit more honey this weekend. I pulled about 2.5 5-gallon buckets, but I still got a lot more that needs to be pulled off.
how much you figure you still got to pull?
I still had about 18 supers on, and I pulled 4 the other day.
And you still got 18 on?
No, I had 18. I pulled 4, so I've still got about 14 left.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you still got at least 20 gallons of honey out there.
Yeah. Some of them I'm still going to leave. I may leave some on some of the smaller hives that hadn't been pulling enough fall honey.
Right.
Let them have that for the winter.
Well, they are really killing my pollen sub feeder right now. Hey, Brooklands. So that's the other thing. If you don't have a pollen tube feeder right now, at least down here, I'd make one or put you out somehow. I've seen people put them in an old box, just put a bottom board and a box and a lid on it, and just put it in there so they can just go in there and get it out of a box.
I got one in each one of my yards just made out of the 4-inch PVC. I got a 4-inch cap on one end and then a 4-inch 45 turned down on the other end to keep the rain out.
Well, they really are hitting it well, So that's the grand scheme of things. Other than work, man, work really takes a toll on my video making time. It's amazing how that works,
especially when you're working 12-hour shifts
or sleeping 6 of 12-hour shifts.
No, I wish I was sleeping. This one they've had us busy on.
They've been keeping you rocking and rolling.
I've been jumping from the front loader to the bulldozer to the track hoe to the crane.
But you got the new crane. How's it going?
Pretty good. We got it in today, got everything set up, but I'm still jumping back and forth between all the different equipment because it's me and one other operator that's come in temporarily. So he's there just to kind of fill in whenever I'm too busy to be able to do anything.
Right. Well, all right. So, what we were talking about earlier today, I will allude to it a little bit, but I'm not going to say what it is. But I took some notes out of the Apis Biologics rule book and been talking with the owner over there about a product that coming up with, right? But it's based on science, guys, science. So we'll see how it goes when it comes out. Might be doing some giveaways on that for people to try and see how it works for their bees, or at least see how it works. And as I get it mixed, we'll I caught the queen in the swarm I caught last week is mated and laying up a storm, guys. I just hope that they build up enough to make it through winter. Put the feed to them.
About to say he's down here in Alabama, so they should still have enough time to build up for the winter.
It's kind of going through that. I mean, right now it feels like fall because it's like rainy or overcast and cool, and then kind of sun breaking through every now and again. But it hadn't been like years past where it's well, we got just warm days after warm day after warm day right now.
I seen we have Silver Gorilla in the comments here a minute ago. Hey, Silver, is that little song still stuck in your head from the other day? That video I posted the other day, a little short with the bees cleaning up the supers. He left a comment and said, I know what song would be stuck in my head all day now. I sent him back, you're welcome.
Just putting it out there. What time is it? Oh, it's 8:30. What time you want to drop a link, Lee?
It don't matter to me. I got it copied already when you ready.
Go ahead, man. Let's do it.
In there.
Nope. Keith, nope, not making peppermint patties. I already have peppermint patties made out there.
You'll have to pin it to the top of your comments.
Oh, that'll make me. Well, I guess the poll is not pinned. It's just floating up in sight.
Yeah, it just floats up.
I haven't answered it because then it'll go away. I think I've never run a poll. It's kind of letting it go for a while, but I don't know how many people. It doesn't say how many people have answered it. Will it tell me that when I'm done with the poll?
I seen it just a second ago. It was showing.
It's got percentages, but I don't see the number of people that have answered.
At the very top, it should say votes. I don't know where it went now. I'm not seeing it on my thing.
14 votes out of 33 people. Well, 15 of those people might be.
There you go, Grammy.
Oh my gosh. I used to sing that to my kids off of Barney. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. That one.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it here.
You're going to get us banned. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, that's a YouTube audio.
That's a YouTube audio?
It's allowed.
Everybody clean up, clean up, clean up. Everybody clean up now. Everybody clean up, clean up, clean up. Everybody clean up now.
There you go, Silver Gorilla. Maybe it's stuck in your head again.
It's locked in there for good now.
Oop, wrong button.
That's the let me see. All right, so yep, 14 right now. The come on and join. We got the link. It's pinned.
Maybe it'll last the rest of the night for you now too.
All right. So it's funny. And maybe some of you educated beekeepers in the chat will be able to tell me what causes, and I'm sure we've covered it before, what causes honey to crystallize faster in some instead of others.
I noticed my spring honey, the lighter it is, the lighter in color, the faster it wants to crystallize. Any of my fall honey? Let me see. I think I got some right here.
Well, I had someone send me some honey, and
this is my spring honey. It is hard as a brick.
Well, I got some
this
honey.
Is fall honey from last year, and it's still running.
I got some honey not too long ago in the mail, and it's solid. I mean, I had to put it in my warmer. This, not this one, not this one, not this one. Silver Gorilla, that one's still good. But the other one I got is just solid, so I had to put it in there. Mineral content. Okay. I didn't know if it had something to do with just a specific nectar or the moisture content, high sugar content. Okay.
I would believe that one too, because I find the lighter the color is, the sweeter it tastes. The darker it is, the more bold or stronger the flavor it is. It's less sweet to me.
Well, my honey typically does not crystallize. And like I made this honey, it's not crystallized. It's hot honey, but it didn't crystallize. None of my other
spring honey there is solid too.
Yeah, that's kind of like the one that I got right there. Similar jar too, but it was a glass one, is not that one. Let me see. Spring honey. Mine just started to crystallize. Last year it happened right away. Mine hasn't. I've got one from 2 years ago that I gave a buddy of mine. He says it's still not crystallized after 2 years. So don't know. Is it speculation or do we actually know? Is there actually science behind it that says this is why?
That might be something good for us to look up. Maybe another day, though.
Maybe. I guess nobody wants to join us tonight. Everybody just hanging out over there tonight. Let me see. Do I have anything going over here? Oh, I do. Man, I still have that going. All right. Well, I might need to fix that. So you remember the other night when we were on here and I put up that Stream 10 code on the website for Apis?
Yep.
It's still there. It's still going. It's still good. It's still strong. It must have been the mead that made me put a no expiration on that one. So
Mead's good for you.
I don't have mead tonight.
It's on the other side, Bob.
No, not gonna happen tonight. No mead.
That 10% turned into 20%.
My moonshine is out. It's just one of those things. Hey Jeff, good to see you. Dennis, Michael, Fred Dunn tell you. Fred Dunn's got a video on it. Everybody's busy working tonight. Yeah. Got it going. It might be a short live stream. Me and Leah run out of stuff and y'all just be looking at us staring at each other.
I'll say everybody busy and I'm just tired.
Yeah, me too. I might take some of this stuff right here. Bits of pollen and raw honey provide an excellent substrate to encourage crystallization. Okay.
I'd heard that, and then I heard possible if it has the more wax content that was left in it that didn't get strained off, that could cause it, but I'm not 100% sure. Like whenever I strain my honey, it's still, I get I'm trying to think how to say it. It's raw honey. It's not filtered, but it's strained just to get the wax particles out. I run it through a 400 micron strainer and then a 200 micron just to get any excess wax, bead parts, or anything like that out, but it still has the pollen.
Daisy says a low glucose to water ratio speeds up the process. So you're saying the lower the moisture content, the faster it will crystallize. But you would think if the jar's sealed that it wouldn't crystallize because the moisture wouldn't be able to evaporate. You would think. I mean, I'm not saying the glucose causes it. Oh, hey, Robert. So that's what inquiring minds want to know. Let's see.
Randy says it's explained on the USDA site.
Okay. I'll have to look at that again. I've looked at it before when, as far as some of the things like for grade A on the moisture content, but I know they have a whole grading scale on it. Scrape keeps the honey fresh. Does. Let me see. All right, we got 16 votes on the poll. Right now, 15% patties are the leader. It looks like 56% on 15%, 31% on the 4%, and then 12% of the people said the no pollen in 10-pound increments. So no pollen patties, no pollen sub patties. Now I do know that from what I'm told about global patty is that when they get the real pollen in, that they irradiate it to kill any bacteria or anything that's in it. So
I wonder if that affects any of the nutrition value of it.
I don't know. Don't know. You wouldn't think so, because I mean, it would kill the bacteria, but yeah, I guess there's good bacteria and bad bacteria. I mean, it could.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you putting honey in the microwave to decrystallize it. You heating it up too much, you could kill some of your good enzymes.
Right. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it seems to work good for the people that have used it. I've never used global patty myself.
If I ain't mistaken, Flower Street, the stainless steel ones that are double layer, the first one I believe is 1,000 micron, and the second one is either 500 or 600 micron.
So the 4% patties, I guess, yeah, that's what Flower Street says, 4% for the past 2 years and love them. All right. Well, maybe, I mean, if we do, so we will be nuking my bees. No, just the pollen. It's probably, I'm envisioning a plant, right? It probably comes down and goes through some kind of like X-ray process or something to kill it off. Beer strainer worked till it fell in. Hey, what's up, Chris? So yeah, that's the thing, man. There's just so much going on that we can't talk about that and you know, it's difficult for me not to talk about things when it gets behind. But I'm excited to try this new venture and see if I can not screw it up. And that'll be the catch, because I've spent a good bit of money on the stuff that's coming in, and then I'll figure out something about it and get Lee to design me a label.
See, I'm trying to pull a picture up here. This was like year before last, I believe. I got just a little bit of pollen in a jar right here. And there's my spring honey and my fall honey. You can see the color difference in them.
Yep, that's kind of how mine works as well. I'm a glowworm now. Had stress test done. Well, I hope you're doing well, James. I've had that stress test. It's not fun. Chris probably had that stress test done recently as well. But man, I can't believe nobody wants to join the chat. Well, you know, Mike will wait till the last minute.
Oh.
Charlie's probably asleep or eating popcorn. Or you know what? He could have his bee club meeting tonight.
No, I'm thinking about Hell Hives. I think it's the last Tuesday of the month that they do their meeting here in Baton Rouge.
No camera. Chris, you don't have a camera, bro? They're like $50.
Got a camera on the phone?
Yeah, you do. Everybody's got a camera on the phone. May not have good Wi-Fi, good Wi-Fi's. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I missed a call from you, Lee. Sorry about that. I was sleeping. I was taking my beauty nap before the show.
Trying to think. Oh, that's right. I tried to call you on the way home from work. I was going to tell you I forgot to schedule the live last night. I didn't know if you wanted to go ahead and do it before I got home or what. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Bell. Mr. Paul, it's the second Tuesday of the month, not the last Tuesday.
Hey, Paul, be looking for an email. So, and I guess Randy might be able to get in touch with him. How far is he? Further away from there?
It'd probably be about the same distance, because I'm about 10 miles off of the interstate, and he'd be closer to the interstate than I am.
So you're about 10 miles away from
him? By bird flight, maybe 7 or 8 miles.
Y'all could almost carpool.
Yeah. But I don't know who all's going. Like I said, he said Terry's dead.
Well, when he talked to me, which was right before you, he said he had a few spots left.
Yeah.
So I gave him some names of people that I knew lived kind of in that general vicinity. Like I said, Larry, but I don't know if he'll have a chance, if he can get in touch with Larry Gandy.
I know he said he contacted Mike Berry and Bruce, and neither one of them could make it.
What y'all going fishing for? Do you know?
Don't know yet. Because at first he was telling me just the charter. Now they got some charter boats down there that take you out fishing. Some of them they just go out for a tour of some of the islands. So I was asking him, "Are we touring or fishing?" He said, "Well, fishing if they're biting." So not sure exactly what yet.
Yeah, I didn't get invited. Well, let me rephrase that. He called me.
Technically,
I could have said, "Oh, I can go," but I would have had to drive 10 hours to Biloxi, Mississippi to catch the boat. So that's not very likely, right? And it's on a Sunday, you said?
yep. Sunday 1 to 5.
Which means there would have been, yeah, he just used me as the message boy, pretty much. Contact. He just needed Lee's number. Lee's actually going to be doing the charter. He just don't know it. Behind the scenes running the show.
Let's see.
But it was good to talk to him nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
But heck, I know there'll be video. Better be video footage. All you.
Oh, there's a bunch of YouTube people. You know the video cameras are going to come out.
And that'll be a.
The other name that he mentioned though, but he didn't say definite for sure yet. But he said Yappy may make an appearance.
Ta-da!
What's up, Tim?
Thanks for bailing us out, buddy. We're thinking hard over here. Nobody wants to come join us tonight.
I try to bail you out here. How you guys doing tonight?
Well,
Good.
hey,
Tired but good.
Tired. What's all this thing about work here, Lee?
Too much work.
Overtime?
Yep. Working 12-hour shifts right now. 5:30
That's
in the
not
morning,
all bad.
5:30 in the evening. Good money.
Good.
That's the only good thing about it.
that's going to allow him to go fishing with the Dirt Rooster this weekend, and Guardian B apparel, and possibly Yappy too.
He said maybe Yappy, but I know he said Mr. Ed's supposed to be there.
That sounds crazy. I don't know how much fishing is going to get done.
That's what I'm thinking.
A lot of talking. They won't be able to catch one because nobody can be quiet.
I think that bull's going to get pretty deep.
Right. Take your
I want to see some video.
Matter of fact, you need to do a rub it in video. Tell them all to tell me hello. Wish you could be
I was
here.
about to say we'll have to do a little live. Say, hey, Bob.
Wish you could be here. Everybody hurling over the side because they're getting seasick.
Yeah, that's right, DC. Toys cost.
Make sure you take your Dramamine.
I'm actually thinking about bringing some with me because I ain't been offshore. It's probably been almost 20 years. Last time I've even done fishing in the local river was 2017.
If I were you, I would take it before I left the house and then right before I got on the boat.
Yeah. Last time I went fishing was 2017, and that was right before my dad passed away. Me and him went fishing.
I haven't been fishing in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. I used to love fishing.
Spanky said to tell him you had mead and they'd move the trip 10 hours closer to me.
I got a couple of bottles over here.
So right now it's looking like the 17 votes, 59% of the people are saying 15% pollen patties. So, but who knows? Maybe get a mixture. Maybe we do a mixture. There's not really a rule to it if it's being picked up at the Hive Life. We could put all three of them for pre-order and just put sticky notes or write on the box whose it is. Take the list up there. Buy them up.
I want to know, what is the purpose of pollen patties without pollen?
Well,
Pollen substitute is basically just
let's
a
ask
holding
Ultimate
over.
that question.
Yeah. I got
We
one of
have-
those in the deep freeze next door in storage. Was that 50 or 58% protein or something like that together?
Says 58% crude protein. So, thing is that I like making my own patties, but to be honest with you, getting it like perfect to where they don't dry out and stuff, that's kind of the biggest pain in the butt. I do like it for putting it in my tube feeder and stuff like that, but if I could find a cheap, and now my arm's all sticky, But if
Do
I can,
you use the coconut oil to help keep them from drying out?
I did this last time. So I watched Ian Stepler's video. So I used the coconut oil. I used the Apis. I used what's the other oil he puts in there? Flaxseed oil. Put some of that in there. So that's that was the Ian Stepler method. Of course, he doesn't tell you the ratios. You see him putting it in this big mixing bowl and mixing it up, right?
A little of this and a little of that, huh?
Yep. And
he's making it for hundreds of hives too.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. This big bag, I mean, one of these big bags typically lasts me 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's more in the way. So I could probably get a case or two of the pollen patties and just put them in my refrigerator and then not have to worry about it no more.
I still got the Ultra Bee pollen patties left over from last year in my deep freeze that I hadn't used all of, along with the bag of Ultra Bee dry.
Well, you know, my mentor used to buy Ultra Bee and make his own patties. Then he bought some patties and he would just like cut them. He would basically cut them into little tiny squares, like silver dollar size squares, and put them on the colonies. And then now he just buys it bulk, like the bulk pre-mixed in a thing, and just scoops it out and puts it on there.
That's what I do with the 1 pound patties. I turn them sideways. Let's see. I turn them this way and I'd cut them like this, about 4 or 5 strips wide, and then put one on each hive. Because I didn't want to put too much on there and the hive beetle take over.
So that's a 10-pounder box.
Yeah.
So that gives you 10 patties.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the Ultra Bee. Yeah. Right for the freezer.
Well, look here. Those are the Ultra Bee.
Yeah. I put these on in the springtime. One of these lasted 2 days on a hive. Is all they were lasting me is 2 days, and they were gone.
And that was in the very spring. Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello there.
How you doing today?
Good. I guess I got this thing working, huh?
Yeah.
Man, look at you. You got it figured out.
Yeah, DC said they get the bulk patty mix. I got a 5 gallon of the winter patty back here that I hadn't even used all of that from last year.
And you bought that from Man Lake?
Yeah, I believe it was Man Lake I got it from.
So the winter patty, let me see. The winter patty is what? Just more protein or more sugar, more carbohydrates in it?
I believe it's more carbohydrates, less protein, because you give them too much protein and they're going to want to start trying to brood up then.
And that's a bad thing.
Yeah, during cold weather, you don't want to even try to start brooding up, because once they start trying to brood, then they start going through stores trying to make more royal jelly, keep everything warm. And then you get another hard frost and it's going to kill them. Then they're out food, and then all that brood that got wasted.
You know, I talked to Charlie yesterday. He put out a video and he asked me, he said, well, do you think the Apis is working? And I said, well, I watched your video, and in your video, you said you've talked to a few beekeepers right around you, and none of them had brood. And here you're showing your colony's got eggs, brood, larvae, and everything. And that was, he said he filmed it 2 weeks ago. I said, so all those bees are getting ready to hatch out for winter bees. So you tell me, do you think it's working? Because I don't know, you know, he says, yeah, it looks like it's doing something. So he mixed up, 60 gallons of syrup to feed them this last time with the Apis. So we brewed up in January and February, freezing temps too. Yep. Yeah, Sam just buys bulk patties. I think Man Lake sells it by the 2 gallon pail or something like that?
You can buy a 2 gallon or a 5 gallon. I've got a 5-gallon back here.
And
Let's see if I can pull it out of my mess.
what's the price on something like that? I'll
That-
look it up while you're doing your
as I
thing.
look it up, I don't remember.
Man lakeage, pollen. You got the B Pro, right? Probably can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
B Pro.
Sorry, guys, if you see me moving
just
around,
look
I'm trying to get
Pro.
my screen and my earbud working right.
Change cameras.
There we go. Add to stream. So a 10-pound pail is $40. So again, when you look at the patties for 10 pounds at the conference, it's cheaper. Let me see. Why did it do that? Hold on. Let me look at pollen again. Pollen. All right. So 40-pound box is $90 or $87.
I clicked on it a minute ago. It's showing 103.
That's the B Pro. That's
Okay.
That's not the Ultra B.
All right.
Ultra B is 103 for the 40-pound. And see, here you go. 40-pound bulk soft patty, $67.95. Now, when I watch Sam's videos, his patty does not look like that patty. His patty looks darker than that color. That's more like what mine looks like when I make it. So I don't know what the big difference is, but his are much darker. It might just be how he's storing them or something too. I don't know. But and that's 42 pounds for 60. Well, it says 42 pounds here and it says 40 pounds right here. So maybe 2 pounds is the bucket. But yeah, that's the thing. Chris, you feeding any pollen or anything to your bees right now?
Yeah, I've been doing it for the last week and a half, and I've been putting that apis in it and a little food supplement also. And I mean, they were wild today. I had like 4 different bee hives coming over to my yard today. Don't know where they came from, but they were all enjoying it also.
The yeah, so that's how mine were. Mine were going off the chain. Of course, I also have bald face hornets in there, bunch of yellow jackets in there. Going.
Yeah, I had a lot of yellow jackets.
I think the yellow jackets are just out in droves right now at our farmers market Saturday. I killed 8 of them in my little tent area, and I had to go to the lady next to me and kill a couple in hers. The yellow jackets just kept coming out from everywhere.
But I have noticed with my my hive is it's like increased in amount of bees in the last month. I mean, it's almost like doubled.
And you've been using, how long have you been putting apis in there?
Ever since you were able to send it out?
A month ago.
So, I mean, they have doubled in quantity.
That's pretty impressive. I never, be honest with you, when I started feeding it, I didn't even really look in it to see the difference. I just was looking at the feeder and seeing how much they were going at it.
Well, I only have 1 hive, so I was able to keep a pretty track on it.
I think I help feed Bruce's bees when I feed.
Tell Bruce that it cost him a bucket of honey.
He'd probably donate a bucket of honey.
He's still got a bunch left. Bruce was on Grayson's live the other night.
I saw that. I checked in, but I was already laying in the bed.
Yep.
Watching TV, and I was like watching it on my phone, and he's like, "Oh, come on in." I'm like, "No, already my PJs laying in bed, not coming tonight." But all right. So Chris, you and I work at the same company, just in different locations. What's the weirdest thing you've seen going into spray for something or treat. We don't say spray. We treat for something.
When you go into a person's house and they say, "Don't mind the mess," and it's a, and it's like, okay, where do I walk?
Right.
4 foot deep, and you need hip waders to get through. Huh?
You'd be amazed. Then they said, "Yeah, we got a few little roaches." I'm like, just a little bit, and you're walking in roaches. It's like, yeah.
Did you hear me talk about the flea job I went to yesterday?
No, I just when you saw me get on, that's when I got on. I was watching a movie.
So
Sorry.
I got called to go do a spray an apartment for fleas, and it turns out that person had been evicted. Right, so there was like stuff all over the place. They didn't clean the place up, right? They just grabbed as much as they could, and I'm in there spraying, and I'm working back towards the door, and in between the living room and the dining room, there's a galley kitchen, like a little strip kitchen in this apartment. And I go to turn to do the kitchen, and I start spraying the kitchen for fleas, and there's a bunch of those blue Walmart bags on the floor, and a dead cat just laying on top of it. They just left the cat in the apartment and left. And the apartment's calling about the fleas. I'm like, well, you guys got bigger problems. You got dead cats in there and dog crap and everything else. So it's the B-Man. What's up for sale tonight?
You're going to find out there's going to be a lot of cases where, especially when it comes to apartments, that the management don't even go check to see before they send you in there.
And then it was I saw some mutated German roaches today that had been getting treated so long that they mutated. They were white.
No, that's molted. They're not mutated.
All white? They're albino roaches?
Yeah, they're just molted at that time. They just haven't darkened up yet.
That learned something new.
Yeah, it was crazy. Even Ray was
when you see their wings all crumpled up and crinkled up, like sometimes our bees are.
Right.
That's mutated.
See, learning every day. Learning new
I've been dealing with roaches for 18 years.
Now, have you gotten any bee calls to come
well,
get since you
not since I started with my own hive. So I got them. I got it all set up for this coming spring. So my secretary won't be sending them out anymore. She'll be giving them to me.
Bed bugs and fleas are the worst. Oh, yep, they're bad.
I would rather have fleas than bed bugs any day.
We're doing a fume this week for I call it the mouse house. There's so many mice in there.
Oh yeah, that's when you talked about the other day to me, didn't you?
Yeah.
That
was this week. At least I got some Jordans out of the deal.
That's what I'm saying. You got a sale and some shoes.
All right, so the B-Man, what's for sale tonight? Anything you want to buy is for sale. We'll sell it to you. At Hive Life for 67. Yeah, there'll be some sales over there. I like the box sale. What was the box sale? It was like $16 for wax dip boxes.
Yep, 16 or $16.50.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's good price. Good price.
Now they have to be already assembled, then, right? If they're wax dip. So that's the biggest drawback when you're going to pick them up, right? Because it's going to take a lot of space in your truck.
Yeah, depends if you got a truck or a car, or if you're bringing a small trailer with you.
I bought a bunch of them this January. Great quality.
Now, who makes those? You know?
It's a friend of Cayman's, I believe. I couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay. Let me see. Me too, Chris, and had to deal with bed bugs once. That's enough for me.
Oh yeah, I was just reading that.
Sharon said no rain in 8 weeks.
We've only had one rain here the other day, and it didn't last very long. And that's the first one we've had in a couple months now.
We've had a little bit of rain. Lee only has a rope.
It's been drizzling here for the last 2 days, but the bee's been out pretty steady.
Yeah, it's been overcast, but it cleared up here today, and the bees were. It's funny when I pull the work truck in the yard because it's like big and yellow, right? It's
They're
like
attracted to it.
they were. Honestly, they were like trying to fly into the side of the truck. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of that when you go to places.
Let's see, DC. I'm trying to keep up with the comments a little bit. I think my wife's got the heater on because I haven't been drinking, but man, is it hot in here.
Now, am I coming over pretty good? You guys can hear me all right?
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
Look
All right.
good. Well, you look as good as you can look.
I was going to say, don't go there.
Mr. Paul said it's Appalachian Ivory for the wax dip boxes.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Paul, did you get an email or a phone call from Dirt Rooster today? Of course, now we got the delay where it's got to go through all these servers to get back to the.
Yeah, it's about 10 to 15-second delay normally. Normally the goldenrod, for the most part, you wouldn't really be planting as far as subplant. The seed will float off and land on top of the ground.
I did see a place. Where did I? That might be the place I bought that stuff today. Let me see. I think they have seeds packs.
When you get goldenrod seed, it's not just the seed. I happen to have some in a Pringles can, yes. Swap cameras here.
Haven't been home. Oh, okay. Well, I dropped some names. That looks like something I used to do in the 70s.
So that's what they call golden rod now. I thought it was golden weed.
Yeah.
Golden weed.
Yeah, you'll have like little, I guess, all I'm going to call it is little furry pieces on it. But you won't, even if you try to buy it, you're not going to get just a single seed by itself. They said it's too hard to separate.
That's funny. He said I'm not in the inner circle of fishing buddies. Hey, neither am I.
Neither am I. I just got in today somehow.
If you guys ever come down this area, you can always get in my boat and come out fishing with me.
And I gave him, Larry, I gave him your name too. So you might be getting a message. Larry, how far do you live from Biloxi? I was just trying to think of people that I knew, beekeepers that were right in that area, because they specifically asked for beekeepers. So trying to get some people on the fishing boat. So just check your email, because you might have got one. But then again, I didn't give them an email. I told them you. So told them you because I knew you're both in the area.
Yeah. Now, Michael, on the goldenrod, if you go somewhere else, somebody has a lot in their yard that they don't like it or don't need it. Whenever it starts turning gray, after it starts dying off and the seed actually produces, you can run your hand along the vine or along the stem and pull all them seeds out, and then just bring them to your property and spray them around, spread them.
Why can't you just take the whole gray plant and just throw them over in the spare yard and let them drop the seeds over there? Would that work?
Yes, you could do that too. Once it dries out so much, you could take the whole plant, probably just shake it in the air, and then float off
over there
in whatever area you want. Larry said he's about 2 hours.
Well, that's the same as you. You're a little bit further than that, but
yeah.
Dennis says he's ready to fish. We might have to make that happen, because you're only like an hour and something away from me. I just have to give the wife the credit card or something and say, go shopping. I'm going fishing. That's what I told Lee. I said, I'm gonna have to it'd be cheaper for me to give Renee $100 and tell her to go shopping. And then I'll just use his extra ticket to get into Hive Life.
I was about to say, I don't know if that'd be cheaper, her going shopping now.
Well,
I don't know. It probably would, because every time I give her money before to go shopping, she'd go buy stuff for me or the kids. She never would buy stuff for herself.
Man, I'm almost scared. If I go up there, I'll come back I'll have to go to U-Haul and rent a truck to tow back down. And they'll be like, we're out of trucks today. Well, give me a tow dolly or something. I'll strap it down to the tow dolly or put a pallet on it somehow. Come see me. You can get a garbage bag full of goldenrod blooms.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of ragweed that's blooming right now too. The white flowered ones. I got a lot of that going on right now too.
I hadn't seen the white flowers on my ragweed. I've just seen a lot of the ragweed coming up. Now my white flowers I have here in the area, the smaller flowers is bone set.
No, maybe that's it. All I know is I'm loaded with that and goldenrod still, and my bees are coming in quite often with pollen on them. So
now I got a lot of asters blooming too.
Mine have been killing my pollen sub feeder. I mean, they wipe it out. I can put a whole like solo cup full of pollen sub in there, and they'll within a day or so they'll take it out.
yeah, I need to get some of that pollen sub put in my feeder, but right now it's just empty because they've been bringing in enough. So that and the combination of the apis.
That now you made a patty with the apis, or you just been putting it in dry sub with it?
No, I've just put in with the sugar water.
Okay.
And they're just killing it out there. So, but I did learn that you have to, as soon as you mix it, you need to put it out, because if you let it sit for a week, it smells like alcohol.
Really?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I noticed when you're making sugar syrup, either way, if you let it sit, it goes bad pretty quick. So when I put it out, they wipe it out pretty quick over here.
If you're doing just the sugar water, you put just a little bit of Clorox or a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that too much.
They eat it before it's bad, huh?
Oh, my girls are going through 3 to 5 gallons a day.
Yeah, I only go through a gallon a day.
Mine will go through as much as I put out there. I know they've gone through 15 gallons in a day before. And then I started going back to 10 gallons. Then I went back to 5 gallons, only because now I'm buying sugar instead of having the cheaper syrup that I was getting, because I can't get up there now. I've got a job. I can't get to Charlotte to go buy it and bring it back, you know.
Well, you just got to schedule a job in that area.
That's what Chris said the other day.
bring all your buckets with you.
Otherwise, I mean, technically, like days like today when I got done pretty early, I could have probably came home, jumped in my truck, and went up there. But there's always that chance you get there and it's like, yeah, we don't have enough for you right now.
Can you call ahead and make sure what they have available before you go?
Yeah, I can call. But I would still have to come home, make sure all the buckets are cleaned out and in the truck and ready to go. And
yeah, you'd have to plan that a day before.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dennis could correct me on this, I think they are there on Saturday too. If they're there on Saturday, I can just get up early and go and get it. But I think they don't work every Saturday. So
I'm hoping I'm off this Saturday for the farmers market, but I already told them one way or another I'm taking off Sunday.
Oh, you already told them you're going fishing?
Yep. Well, like last week, I had to leave. I told them like a week and a half in advance. I got to leave early next Thursday for football game because it's senior night. I told them what time I had to leave. I had said I want to be gone by 2:30 at the latest, but preferably 2 o'clock. They're gonna wait till 2 o'clock and call me to go do a job. Well, I drove the equipment around front. I said, "Y'all ready?" "Oh, we almost ready." I said, "You got 3 minutes." I said, because after 3 minutes, I don't have enough time to go to the unit, do the job, come back, and make it out the gate on time. And they thought I was picking, so they laughed. I said, you ain't going nowhere. I said, you got 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
You're wasting valuable time here, sir.
That time count down when it hit 0. I didn't even tell them, look, I'm gone. I just killed the equipment, got off, went, signed out, and left.
I don't blame you.
I told them, I'm not asking what time I can go. I'm letting you know what time I'm leaving.
See, that's seniority there. When you can tell them, when you just tell them, look, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all got going
Yeah,
on.
it comes to family stuff. I told them, hey, I'm going. I've done that on a whole job before. They called me for a turnaround, go to another plant. And I told them, look, I'll be there. Well, 2 days later, we got the phone call. We had to travel to Naples, Florida for a travel football game. So I called work back up, told them, look, if y'all need to get another operator to take the job until I come back, or I'll catch the next job. If y'all want to replace me, I don't have a problem with it. Said, but I'm not missing this. So they got another operator to come in for a week for me. They didn't even let him on the crane the whole time he was there. They waited till I got back to do the job.
I think I missed something here.
That's
chat.
what's nice about working for yourself. All you got to do is convince yourself it's time to take a day off.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
do that. Well, every now and then I did take off about 8 months a couple of years ago. I told the old lady, I said, I finished this job up. I'm taking a little time off. So I ended up taking off 8 months. And that's when I got a phone call to go to Nebraska. And I told them, that's a little too far for me to drive every day. So I turned it down. I sat there for about an hour. I said, well, I've been off of work 8 months. I'm getting a little bored sitting around here. So I called them back and said, yeah, I'll go ahead and go up there for you. So I went up there, brought all my camera equipment on my 1 day off a week. I rode around Nebraska and South Dakota taking pictures.
hey, Michael, send you a box of what? I missed the chat. I know he was talking to Larry, and it's a day trip for me. But box of what? Trying to figure out. Oh, okay. So it's something between him and Larry. Yeah. So, that's the thing with, back to what the B-Man said, what are we selling today or whatever? When you're trying to be in business, you got to try to make the money when you can, Oh, goldenrod blooms. Okay. There you go. Dropping the Apis Biologics. But the thing is that, you just don't know when you're in business for yourself, you don't really know where the next dollar's coming from, do you? I mean, like you said, Tim, well, you just got to convince yourself you want to take time off, but then you might get that, the Brooks Shoes Company saying, hey man, I need 50 more of these things. Then you're like, well, I was going to take off, but now I've got to do these,
Yeah, retirement's not what I thought it was going to be.
It's not all fun and games all the time.
No.
I mean, I was home for what, about 7 months, I think. So
Well, let's see, from March until what, October?
Until Chris saved me, bailed me out.
Well, I've been off since Friday because I had to go back to the doctor, our emergency room actually.
VA taking care of you now?
Yeah, they just had to readjust my medicine, so we'll see if it works this time.
That's a constant thing.
Yeah.
Every time I go back, it's like, well, how's it feeling? Well, I'm getting this and that. Okay, well, let's adjust this medicine again. And then you end up with this big, bunches and bunches of this stuff sitting around.
Well, it gave me some time to be with my girls outside with my chickens.
I had another one of my ducks got snatched. I don't know what happened to it. It was there, then it was gone. No blood, no feathers, no nothing, just gone. So probably a fox, I would imagine.
Yeah, last year I had a coyote go snatch up 10 of my chickens.
10, wow.
Every couple of months, we'll hear a pack of coyotes come around here, but we have never seen them in the yard or anything.
Oh, I didn't see them either. Yeah, all I seen was gone chickens.
Now,
in my chicken coop.
I had 2 pit bulls. The first time I ever seen one, the only time I've ever seen them, got into my pen last year and killed some of my chickens. I caught them on the security cameras. And then this year, something got in there and took out about 20 of them. I got 1 chicken left.
Man. Well, I started all over. I've got 8 now.
I was up to 72 a couple of months ago, and then I started selling some.
I haven't had, matter of fact, I've had chickens for 2.5 years, and they have not produced a single chick on their own. And I've got roosters, and they're all intermingling and everything. Mm-hmm. And they have not produced a single batch of chicks on their own, a single clutch. The only chicks that I've ever had is when I've taken the eggs and put them in the incubator and incubated them.
We know you're off, Matt.
I was thinking it.
Someone had to say it.
Oh, now you know he's in the stream. He's joining the stream now. You done pulled his cord. Here he comes.
Well, you know, DC, you got to have chickens if you have bees, right? It's like 2 peas in a pod.
Well, have you tried, matter of fact, have you tried any of the granules underneath the colonies at all underneath your hive stand?
I did for the ants.
For the ants?
Yes, but I also use, believe it or not, I use axle grease on the post of my stands, and it keeps all the ants off them. I don't get a single ant, and the rain doesn't wash away the axle grease. And I mean, it's working great. So I'll stick with the axle grease.
Is it just a mess trying to put it on there? Or
No, I just use a paintbrush.
just paint it right
Yep,
on, no problem.
Just paint it right on there, and it stays on there. I haven't changed it out since I put my hives up. So
What's
it's
that?
working great.
I tried what they call that tree tanglefoot. People
Yeah,
rub it on the
I've
bottom
seen
of
that
the
too.
tree to keep bugs off. I put that on the legs of my hive stand, and it seemed to work for the first year, but it does wear off, so you have to reapply, and I
Right.
never put it back on.
Yeah, I almost bought that until my friend said, "Why don't you just try axle grease?" So that's what I did.
Actually, you could probably use that, or what's the grease they use for the fifth wheel grease that they use? Any kind of grease like that would probably work.
Yeah, something that withstands a lot of water.
I wonder if the food grade grease would work. Like for
That's right, Lisa.
your
Birds and the
tractor.
bees.
That's it. I got mine decided they like to go under my pickup truck since I'm not driving my truck that much, except for the weekends.
Well, if you want to convince her about having chickens, just say, "Look at the price of eggs."
Yes, everybody needs chickens.
That's
We're
what
fine.
Before
DC
you do
was
that, look
saying.
at the price of chicken feed and how many eggs you eat.
Yeah.
Make that. I mean, we were going through a lot of we were getting a lot of eggs, and then we stopped getting as many eggs. But yet it seems like the chicken feed keeps having to go.
I buy a 50-pound bag of laying pellets for $19.50.
From Tractor Supply.
No, this is actually a feed store.
Dang, that's high for a feed store. Here at Tractor Supply, it's about $18.50, $19. Now, if I go to my local feed store, I can get it for about $12. And earlier this year, it was $10 a bag.
Yeah,
But
that'd be nice. I'd be buying 2 or 3 bags then.
Oh, I was buying more than that. I was buying 500 pounds a month.
With all those, yeah.
Little over 500 a month.
I buy more chicken scratch than I do pellets.
I never did buy the scratch. I bought just a laying pellet.
But hell, now when I started buying chicken scratch, it was like $13 for a 50-pound bag. Now it's like $17 for a 50-pound bag from Tractor Supply. It's gone up. So, and my pigs like the chicken scratch better than they won't eat pellets.
Oh, really?
But they'll eat the chicken scratch, the seeds and the corn and all. I mean, they eat it. But the chickens won't eat the corn part, but they eat the seeds that are in there.
Well, I was talking to my mentor about the bees, and he said that it doesn't hurt to put your beehives if you're having problems with other critters getting to your bees inside your chicken coops, because it'll keep your bees safe also.
Organic chicken feed here is bulk. In bulk is $660 for 2,000 pounds.
Dang. Organic feed, you always going to pay more for.
33 cents a pound. That's pretty good though. 33 cents a pound. But now with that amount of feed, do you have problems with mice and everything getting it, or it's starting to well, you ferment your feed. I know that. I don't ferment my feed.
I didn't. I did have trouble every now and then with the mice because we have a whole lot of woods behind us, and they would come up, but I hadn't seen any in a while.
We keep all of ours in metal trash containers. The feed, when they're not being fed. But yeah, we don't have a problem with the mice or anything.
I've got a big, well,
Neither do I. I got poison.
yeah, truckloads of poison. Let's see. I've got a big plastic. It's like a garbage can, but it's got a lid with the handles that snap onto it. That I got a Tractor Supply for it.
The white ones.
Yeah, the white ones.
That's what I got. I think it's the 25 or 30-gallon buckets I got.
Mm-hmm. Wife has 13 budgies, and I have bees. Then mice and rats can work on metal over time. I put it all in trash cans. No ferment. I thought you did. I thought you did ferment it. I thought you added like. I mean, fermenting feed is just adding water to it and letting it sit right over a day or two, and then just dumping wet feed in there. Let me see. I heard dado are illegal in some countries.
So what month do you guys start putting out your swarm traps?
I started putting mine out in February here in Louisiana.
It's about when I.
Same thing, Bob. February.
Well, you know, it's so weird. I got the weather did fake me out this year because it was so warm in January that I started doing things I should have waited a little bit longer on. I started trying to push the envelope and do them earlier, and it ended up costing me in the long run. So I'm going to take a different approach.
Well, I already put my traps out. I just was trying to figure out when I'm going to put the lure in them.
What lure are you using?
Well, I've got 3 types. I'm going to use 3 different ones just to see which one works best. I've got the Bee Science. I've got the grass, the
Lemongrass.
lemongrass, and I also got a Swarm Commander. So
Well,
I'm gonna try them all.
I'm still feeding 1-to-1 here.
I hadn't done any feeding because I still got too much honey on the hives.
I just switched from 2-to-1 to probably about 1.5-to-1. It's warmed up here considerably. It's like in the 70s for the next week. So I have thinned the feed out just a little bit to make the sugar go a bit further.
I've been thinning out because with the temperature, I feel like they're going to utilize that more for the bees to actually eat now, right? Not store it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I've been doing it. DC made 3-to-1.
Well, I left 2 full frames of honey, capped honey inside the hive just to let them have that, and I've been just feeding them. So
It's unusual here. I think the weatherman today said they don't expect any freezing temperatures till maybe Thanksgiving. That's unusual for Southern Ohio. That's late.
Well, I remember when I lived in Iowa, trick-or-treating in the snow when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, we always had our first flurry by Halloween. Always.
And you haven't been well, you remember we had the little plastic mask that had the rubber band on the back that just had eye holes and a little slit for the mouth on it. And then you'd have like the plastic thing that went over your head, right? But then you'd have your winter coat underneath that.
My favorite day of the year.
Halloween?
My birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. I didn't know your birthday.
You're welcome.
happy belated.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, happy belated birthday.
I'm a whole 45 now.
45.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
I've got some swampland, I'll tell you.
But
Mine was 15 days ago.
you're only a year older than me, then.
You as well.
Maybe a couple years on to that.
What is your year of birth?
Me?
Yeah.
58.
1958?
Yes.
Man, I can't even count that. I'm
It's
trying
been 64.
Are you 64?
I was gonna say you're 8 years older than I am.
I would have never thought that, to be honest with you. You're aging very well, sir.
I like to think so, at least.
I mean, I'm 52, and it's like you look better than I do, man. I mean,
Thing about aging, and those that are in the group there that are my age will attest to this. You get out there into the bee yard or out there in the yard, and you start to do something. Yes, you don't think you're your age till you go do something, and your body says.
right. But you don't feel it till the next day, right? After you stopped and sat in your recliner for a little while or something like that, and you go to get up, and you're like, "Oh man, my back."
Oh yeah. You just don't think about it. You think you're still 20, and you go to do something that you did 1,000 times, and your body says, "Whoa, no."
I do that every morning now. That was my calendar going off, Bob.
I was going to say, I'm like,
Chris,
we got some Star Wars going on.
Chris, when did you say your birthday was?
15 days ago on the 17th.
17. I finally got my calendar put back on the new computer. So I'm trying to put everybody's birthday or anniversary that we kind of talk to and everything in here. That way, every year when it comes up, it'll alert me when we go to do our live.
Right. Well, you got the year right there, right in front of you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Paul is a October baby too. He's turned 61.
Yeah.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something funny?
February.
You want to hear something funny? I was born on October 31st. My grandparents were married on October 31st. My great grandparents were married on October 31st. What are the odds?
Well, that's like my kids. I've got 4 children. 3 of my children were born on the 3rd day of the month. November 3rd, August 3rd, and March 3rd. I don't know why, just the 3rd day of the month. And then I've got one oddball that's the 26th, but it's a we're gonna have to start doing a show on what is it called, numerology or whatever, when they're talking about how numbers mean things.
As long as it has the lottery numbers, I don't really care.
Hey, Sharon, you got the same birthday as my daughter, March 19th.
That Powerball is just unreal. 1.2 billion come up. That's just unreal.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah.
It's gonna be $1 tomorrow from me, I guess.
That's just.
Well, you got $1. Yeah,
Gotta give it a try, right?
Yeah, gotta give it the.
Last time it got up to like 1.2 billion, whatever, here a while back.
Yeah, I spent $1 then too. I normally don't play the
$1?
lottery. Yeah, $1.
Yeah, you only need to spend $1. They're only gonna pick one set of tickets or one set of numbers.
Out of all these tickets, I got the Powerball number by itself, and I still hadn't went and turned it in.
Oh, you get your money back for that.
Yeah.
I know. I done that.
$2 or $2 you get back.
$2. Yeah, I want my $2.
All right, so what's the poll telling us now? The poll is telling us 19 votes. Out of 40 people, we only got 19 votes on the poll. We got 58% of the people are saying 15% pollen patty. 32 are saying 4%, and 11% are saying no pollen.
Is the poll still up there? I don't see it.
Well, once you vote, it goes away.
Okay. Okay.
So I haven't voted, so I can
Okay.
still see what it is with 19 votes. So Silver Ed bought his yesterday. Y'all will know if I hit it. Well, you know how you'll know? You won't see me on another live stream. He just disappeared.
I'd probably still do it. The
I'll
guy
be coming by seeing everybody.
Yeah, this week we're at Chris's. Next week we'll be at Tim's place, and the week after that we'll be down in Louisiana. We'll just have like the big, John Madden tour bus going from town to town.
Yeah.
The YouTube beekeeping tour of America.
Whenever I worked at Exxon, had a guy out there. He said if he ever won the Powerball, he'd come to work one more day. Well, Exxon, they ride a lot of bicycles through the plant to get from place to place. He said he'd come to work, strip every bit of clothes off, get on a bike, and ride all the way across the plant. Just to tell everybody, kiss it and bye.
Yeah, that's a well. How do you know if you'll hit the Powerball? That's easy. You'll never see my fat white ass again. I'll be gone. Just be out of here.
I worked with a guy a couple years ago. He passed away, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. He was cutting grass and had a heart attack. But he was a crane operator, and the dude did not have to work. He got in a crane years ago, and it was brand new, but the manufacturer messed up on the exhaust lines, and it was leaking into the cab, and like it killed him. And he got so much money off of that. The money he made every week, he gave to his grandkids.
Look at this. This is Frank. This is the question of the year. What is the pollen in the patty do? They eat it.
Protein.
Yeah, it's actual real pollen. It's not pollen sub. So that's what when it says 15%, 4% or no pollen. So like Ultra B is no pollen, right? It's that type of thing. And then 4% has 4% of the patty is pollen, and 15 is obviously 15%. Feeds the babies.
I worked with a guy down in Florida, won a small lottery, a couple $1 million, quite a few years ago. And he went on TV. They said, "What are you going to do with all that money?" He said, "I'm going to buy me a bowling ball and a station wagon." A couple $1 million, bowling ball and a station wagon. And he did. He bought himself a bowling ball and a new station wagon. And that's it. And he went back to work.
Well, you know what? The thing is, to win that kind of money and go back to work, I could see myself doing that. But my give a damn would be so broken. It would just, you know what I mean?
Mine's about that much right now. If I won, it'd be about that much.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, it's just like.
But what would your B yard? What would you think? Think of what your B yard would look like if you had unlimited funds.
I was about to say it wouldn't be so much my B yard; it'd be my honey house.
Right.
See, I would buy a whole new place. I know that for a fact. It would have more land. I would build a barn dominium. Have you seen those barn dos?
Yep.
Basically,
I would buy another place, but I would still keep this one, the place I'm on now, because that was where I grew up, my parents' place.
Let me see. I like the news clip where the guy says he'll spend it on like blowing hookers.
I've seen that one.
You act like Hunter.
That's Hunter Biden. But yeah, yes, Daisy, it is. Steve, it is. It is radiated. They irradiate it to kill any, I guess, bacteria or disease that could be on it. Evidently, it's good. I haven't used it, but everybody that I've talked to that has used Global Patty has said nothing but good things about it. So,
I believe I heard last year they use California pollen. They collect it and purchase it from California, I believe, is where they get the pollen from.
I'm going to plead the fifth.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I had seen a telecast that that's what they explained.
At least they ain't from Colorado. You know, you have high bees.
What was the pollen coming off of? Huh?
Right. It's like random, right? Whatever they're foraging any. But you know, it would be interesting because, like, there might be. Let's say they were getting pollen sourced out of Ohio, right? Then, if you're feeding it down here, then our bees would be getting pollen that they wouldn't probably normally
Not
see.
used to. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be something different. So it actually could. I mean, that could be a good thing.
Well, my neighbor has a whole bunch of poppies in their yard, so you know where my bees are heading.
I agree with you there, Mr. Paul.
Full of fruits and nuts, California pollen.
No comment.
We're getting banned now. That was not us. We did not make that statement. Please do not report our channel or my channel. Lee's got the.
I'm free tonight.
Lee's got the con.
Randy's used Global Patties for years too, he says. Oh my God. Jeff said Jack Whitaker won millions, lived a few miles from me, and his granddaughter had a $5,000 a month allowance. She is dead. That, well, I guess it would be a culture shock, wouldn't it? I mean, to give you an example, I always said if I won like 500 million, let's say you took the lump sum payout and you ended up with 500 million. The last time the Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery sold, it sold for like 350 million. So you could find a company like that and already has people in place running it, buy it, and still have 150 million sitting over in the bank and
Yeah, you
generate
can make that right up. Yeah.
generational wealth.
Now, James, these patties are going to have the Apis biologic in it.
The Apis, sir, Apis. The Hive Alive's patties do come from Global Patty.
Yeah.
They just use Hive Alive in them.
Yeah, Global Patty will make patties with whomever's ingredient pays them. In this case, it's Hive Alive is what we're discussing.
Hey, Paul,
I'm sorry, Hive Alive. Apis.
Paul, I like PBR. It's not always my first choice, but I'm not like a beer snob. I don't have to have like this highfalutin beer. I like the champagne of beers. I'll drink some Miller Lite and stuff like that.
When I did drink
of choice.
When I did drink, it was either Bud Light or Bud Ice, but it's been years since I had that.
I'm not drinking at all. My wife asked, was I turning into an alcoholic? Because I've drank on like 2 live streams.
You really drink on one of them, though.
Yeah. The last one was just a little taste test.
I think we had a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, but you got to watch way deep in the video. Yeah, that is true. Well, the shock is, I think now correct me if I'm wrong. If you take a one-time payout on the lottery, don't they take their taxes up front, right?
Yep.
They take a small percent. You still going to end up paying taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
They don't take the full amount of taxes.
Oh, I thought that.
They only take 25%.
Oh, so you're still gonna owe 15% or something?
Yeah.
Well, it'll drop you in a whole new tax bracket. That's why you buy a Pabst Blue Ribbon and then it's a write-off, right? An investment at that point.
I was about to say, I thought it was a pretty high percent because that's not a regular income tax. That's a luxury tax.
Well, that's why all these people, well, not a lot. I mean, that's why these people that get into real estate, they continue. Like, I got a friend of mine. He owns like 3 or 4 houses, and he was thinking about selling them. And I was like, well, if you sell them, you're gonna have to pay capital gains tax on them. I said you could always get a loan for the houses and then rent the houses, and that way it's a source of ongoing income. But you've already pulled your equity out with the loan, and they can't tax a loan because you got to repay it. And then if you sell it at some time in the future, then you pay off that loan, but you've already got the money in your pocket.
Yeah, you get a tax break on it for the interest paid in also on that loan.
Buy more lasers. I need to. I've got so much stuff going right now. The thing is that I've got the laser stuff, got work, got the Apis stuff, got work.
You got your hands full.
I got stuff coming I've got a new thing brewing. Technically, it's not really brewing, but I've got the mad scientist is coming in. Bob's too cool for lasers now. He just kills bugs. No, that's not true. We've got a discussion that still needs to be finished on that, sir. You know that, Mr. Pumpkin Laser Man. Did you see where he lasered his pumpkin, Tim?
I did.
it came out pretty cool. I don't know how he got that to work like that, but because with the laser that he used, I know mine is the same brand, but to get the distance, the focal point for the laser must have been hard on the slope. So I don't know how he did that. Maybe just took the furthest part away. No, then it wouldn't work either. So I don't know. Before we hear they sent an armed IRS agent to your door, Bob, did you file all the crypto? Shh! Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell anybody that. I take my crypto out in small increments as to not throw up red flags.
Well, the thing I like on stock market, certain things, whether you buying and selling, you really only get taxed when you take that money out.
Right.
When you withdraw the money and get it in cash or whatever, have it transferred to the bank. As long as it stays in that account, they don't mess with your stock money.
It's the same thing with 401s.
Right. But yeah, that's true. I try not to.
And it depends. Actually, they got, mainly two options on 401k that you can take a loan out and not get taxed on. That's a medical emergency or a home loan. You can borrow against your 401 without penalty.
But then you take it out and then you reinvest it into B equipment for your B enterprise. And then you can chalk it off as a loss on one end and a gain on the other. So it washes itself out.
I've got a great story I need to tell you. He's talking about banks. Reminds me here. You know, I was at the bank. You know, it took some cash out. You know how they put them in those little white envelopes when you get the cash? I got the cash out. Went and put some cash in a few days later using that same envelope. Put the cash in the envelope, put it in the thing. She says, "Would you like to deposit all of this?" I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Do you want all of this deposited?" Yeah, whatever's in there, put it in there. This was yesterday, 2 days ago, Saturday morning. And so I got the receipt. It says $27,000 deposited. So this is through the drive-through that, you put it in a little tube and it goes through. So we stop. I run into the office there. I says, "How did I deposit $27,000? What had happened is when they gave me the initial cash a few days ago, they reused an envelope and a couple checks from some roofing company was in there. So when I threw my other money in there and redeposited, they put that in my account."
Oh, wow. Hey, you're honest, dude.
Short-lived. I do not have $27,000 any longer, but true story. It did happen.
I wonder what would have happened had you not said anything. Would they have been able to find it?
I think they would have. That's a lot of money. I'm sure they would have found it.
But you could have had a new bass boat. Or
I could have. Yes, I could
have.
have.
You could have bought
If I would have seen that, I would have transferred it fast.
Cash out.
I think that's a lot of money. It was a roofing company, local roofing company. I'm sure they would have tracked it down real fast.
Yeah, when the roofing company says, "Yeah, we're like 27 grand short," and then they've been.
Yeah, where is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I sent Renee to the bank a couple of years ago to take some money out for something, and the bank told her, "We don't keep that on hand. You have to go to the main branch in Baton Rouge." So she went over to Baton Rouge. They dished the money and everything out. They put it in a manila envelope, and she turned around, went to walk out, and they told her, "No, ma'am, you can't just walk out like that." She said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Hold on a minute." They got the guard and escorted her out the door to the car.
That the funny thing is, I had that happen one time, and I think it was like $10,000 I was taking out, and they said, "Well, typically you have to, if you're taking that much money out or cashing a check for that amount, that you have to call them ahead of time to make sure they order that money from wherever to have it there for you to come in. But they don't have any problem taking it from you."
Well, it's like if you bring a certain size check to the bank, they'll tell you, "Hey, you can go ahead and cash it now," or if it's over a certain amount, it might be a 3 to 5 day hold on it. Well, my ex-mother-in-law used to dish money out to my ex, I guess you'd say. Anyway, it was an arrangement between our bank and her bank. Any check that come through there with her name on it, there was no hold. It was automatic funds guaranteed.
Nice. I've done all of the above. All of the above. I started making them, and then when I realized the time burn that was involved in making them, then it became cheaper for me anyway, to buy them. And then I bought some. I was like, well, it's only $2 more a box if I buy them already pre-assembled. And then I find out that they're not using glue, and now I'm probably gonna have to replace those boxes because they're all bowed and warped and crap. So.
Well, that's what I was looking at to start with when I started getting boxes. I said, well, heck, they're cheaper if you buy them unassembled and put it together yourself. So I put together 2 of them. Needless to say, after that, I buy them assembled.
Well, if you buy them assembled and they're put together correctly,
yeah,
then it's one thing. But
you're saving money buying them unassembled, but then you have to factor your time in. What's your time worth spending all that time putting them together? If you figure up an hourly wage, what's it actually costing you? Now, yeah, if you're doing it full time and you have a free day here and there, you don't have to go do no B work. You're just, hey, today's my assembly day. Yeah, it may be cheaper for you to do that. But if you got a job and other things going, building boxes takes a lot of time.
Earlier in the year, I put 75 boxes together, between supers and deeps, and DC says his time is real cheap.
Well, putting the frames together take forever.
Yeah, the frames. I stopped buying. First year I bought the Man Lake, 100 pack and started putting them together, and that was fine. I didn't mind doing that. It got to the point when I stopped doing foundationless is when I started stringing them with fishing line. That took forever.
That takes a lot of time right there.
So I was like, eh.
The first 2 hives I bought was the what's the one that just it's
Hoover?
not the Hoover hives. I bought them unassembled and I had put 2 deeps and 4 supers together and all the frames. That took too long. After that, that's when I started buying already assembled.
Yeah, and then I got even lazier and I was like, well, if I'm using Acorn Foundation and it's costing me $4 a frame, and then I can get the plastic ones for $2.35 a frame with the same foundation in it, then I'll just buy that. Yeah, that's the same thing I had, Spanky. I bought the 100 pack, and then this year I found like 25 of them that were still in the box to put together, so I put them together. Still the 100 pack. It's not 100 anymore, but that's the thing. And then, what I do like about putting the frames together, if you're doing foundationless, Mr. Sam, my mentor, showed me for down here, it's better to flip the bottom piece that's got the track in it, flip it upside down. He said because
the hive beetles. Yeah.
The hive beetles, yeah, they when it's the other way, the hive beetles can get in there and it's hard to get them out because of the comb. But if they're flipped upside down, you can just flip the frame upside down and run your hive tool and you crush them all. Let me see. What is Saracell? Saracell is a company out of New Zealand that makes they make a lot of things. They make the
hive top feeders.
They make a hive beetle frame too. One that's supposed to be hive beetle resistant. So, and they make what else do they make? Yes, and I use spray paint on my nuke boxes.
Yep, so do I.
The Krylon 2X paint and primer, and it holds up pretty well. Yeah, we saw.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
No, I was just saying that I saw where you had bought his tickets to Hive Life.
Yeah, I've seen those the high beetle frame ones. They're solid. They're solid frames, so they don't have any grooves in them. You know how you have to put in the plastic part inside the wood frames.
Right.
Those hive ones, the high beetle ones, are completely just solid plastic.
I bought a 100 pack from Hilco last year. The frames were nice and thicker than Man Lakes. Dennis gets free paint. I've got some paint. Matter of fact, those 2 boxes that I painted this last weekend, they actually, I mean, they don't look terrible, but they don't look great. They need another coat, but that'll be like the 3rd coat of paint on there. So it'd take a lot of paint to paint these boxes.
Have a good one.
All right, we'll see you later. And we're getting ready to hop off here too because it's almost 10 o'clock. But are you going back to work tomorrow, Chris? Or are you off tomorrow too?
Yeah, I actually have to go back in. Boss called me up, make sure I was okay to come in.
We sold a job today, and then the guy called me up after 5. He's like, my wife wants me to get some quotes. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's typical.
Well, the thing is that it's a pest control job, but where the majority of the money comes was replacing the vents underneath his house where the pests are getting in, right? It's not the
Right.
actual treatment, it's making his house safe or secure, whatever you want to call it. Interested in seeing these new Pure boxes and frames from Premier. Yeah, I know Greg got one. They were supposed to send me one, and I haven't heard anything back from them. So we'll see on that. But I've got some boxes that are hopefully, knock on wood, coming soon from Ricky Rourke.
Yep. That's who I'm getting them from.
And we're going to try to do that. And they're supposed to have a hidden dovetail too. And something even more ingenious. Some sheet metal around the edges. So when you use your hive tool, it doesn't damage your box to pull it apart. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we've got those. The auto thermo controlled vents. Yep, we saw your guess, Bruce's Bees.
Night, Jeff.
The him typing his manifesto over there.
You can always hear the mechanical keyboards.
You know, the longer your beard gets, the more you look like Ted Kaczynski, Tim.
I think he's listening.
Oh, he heard me. He chuckled.
Talking with Matt here.
Bob uses his tongue and groove.
So how's it feel to have to shave every day, though, Bob?
Have to what?
Shave for work every day.
I don't like.
Feels like the military, huh?
Yeah, my beard doesn't grow. I mean, it grows fast. So like, if I shave the night before, by like 2 in the afternoon, it looks like
Is that a requirement of the job?
Yeah.
Really?
Matter of fact, Chris didn't pre-warn me before my interview, and I go in there like with my beard. That's the first thing he says is like, you'll have to shave, right? Yeah, I imagine I can do that. And,
Yeah, like where I'm working right now, you don't have to shave unless you go under a fresh air job. They had a little young guy come in the other day, he's about 24. I mean, he had a big old, looked like just a mountain man beard. And he come in, they said, we need you to go for fresh air train. He had to go shave everything off just to take a test, his breathing test, in case he has to go under fresh air. But not actually under fresh air yet, and still had to shave it off.
let me see.
Yeah, we have to wear it for our masks just in case we have to do flea jobs.
Hey, Jesse, I've seen, and I actually got this from Greg Burns. Obviously, Greg Burns is not a small scale beekeeper, but what he did find was like a used restaurant sink. Wasn't his wax dipper, Tim, like a triple deep stainless steel sink that he found, like a restaurant type sink?
I didn't catch it.
He had a video, and he basically put a burner underneath it to heat it, and then was just dipping it in that sink thing. Somehow they had it plugged off where the. Yep, and I've seen some people use a stainless steel tank over a turkey roaster too, where they can just put like 1 box or 2 boxes in at a time.
Yeah, some of them, even if they ain't deep enough to fit the whole box in, you can turn it on its side and at least get the bottom and maybe half of 2 sides, and then just rotate it to get the rest of the sides in.
But I really don't think. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think that that paraffin wax with that silica in it is that cheap. I think it's pretty expensive.
I think it's cheaper than just straight beeswax. But then, I mean, you actually have a little more protection with all the silica or whatever in it too.
Right. Let me see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you guys got anything big coming up? I know you do. Leave fishing trip.
Yep. Hopefully everything goes right with the weather. That way we can still go.
Oh, I'm sure it will. You guys will have a good time. You don't know what you're fishing for though.
Not
Just
yet.
whatever bites.
Yep.
Anything that bites. That's my motto also when I go fishing.
Get you a
Whatever
king.
bites.
They're fun. Tim, what you got going on? Anything?
Well, every time I think I'm ready to get the bees winterized, the weather warms up like this. So winter keeps getting pushed off.
Found a channel the other day called Killer Bee Guy. Yeah, I've seen that guy. African. My commercial guy's coming in with his bees this week. Yeah, I'll have to look. I know when he was talking about wax dip and he was talking about the place that he bought it from, Cayman. But I think, I mean, I don't know that it's an inexpensive thing. But I guess, you know, it depends how many boxes you can dip with the wax. Because obviously the wax has to be deep enough for the box to submerge in. But I think I saw somebody do it on a small scale where they actually they put it in and they weighed it down, and then they actually pulled the box out and flipped it around and weighed it back down. So they were really only doing half a box at a time. All right. Well, paraffin and beeswax. Yeah, but there's like a silica in there too, not just there's something else in there. I actually got an email today if someone asked me, did I ever sell beeswax? And I'm like, nope.
I've had a couple of them ask me that at the market, but I told them the little wax I get right now, I make my candles and my own lip balms out of.
And, you know, need it for your foundations and your frames and,
Yep.
and all that stuff. So that's a good thing. But anyway, it's bedtime.
Yeah,
It is.
got early morning.
Get up in about 6 hours.
Yeah, I'll be up. Well, if you're getting up in 6 hours, I'll probably be up 3 times in the next 6 hours. Because I wake up about every hour and a half. So
I get done with this, I'm take my melatonin and I'll be out for the night.
yeah.
Hit that thumbs up button.
Yes, hit it. And and you know what I do have to do? I have to find out what the final tally is on this end poll. Which one would I do? It won't even let me do it. Let's end poll. All right, so it looks like 57% of the people said 15%, and then 31. So 15 and 4%, and then the no pollen 10%. So there you go.
Had 19 votes on it.
We see it. So you can see that poll pop up?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, when you hit end poll, it gives us the stats on it.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, can't see it in the StreamYard though.
Or at least it gives me the stats because I know I'm a moderator, but I'm sure everybody else can see.
Yeah, they can see it, but most people, like, normally, if you're not watching the YouTube, you like if we were just doing the StreamYard, you couldn't see the poll. So no, I haven't tried the melatonin, but I'm one of those guys that the alarm will go off and I'll wake up And then it's like, I can sit here for a few more minutes, and then all of a sudden, an hour and a half later, it's like, oh crap, I'm running late for work now.
I did that Saturday. I woke up at 8 o'clock, laid back down for a second. Next thing I knew, it was 11 o'clock.
Yep.
That's the latest I've slept in a long time.
Yeah, that's when your body tells you differently.
Yeah,
That's right. We've got time change coming up, don't we?
Yep.
I heard they're voting on that too.
I know Louisiana.
Congress mentioned something.
Yeah. Well, several states don't do it already, but I know Louisiana has passed it in Louisiana that they're going to stop doing it, but for some reason they're having to wait on federal approval also.
Right. Yeah, they're talking about it Senate. Seen some. I read about it yesterday.
You know what bugs me about that? Is that seems like such a meaningless thing to vote on when they've got all this other stuff that they could be trying to take care of, and they're worried about the time change. So, all right, my nightly snack, BLT.
Grayson got a question for you.
It's the plan, but have I bought a ticket yet? No. So with the way things go for me, it'll probably be like last year when I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go, and then I go there and they're sold out with tickets. So I have to figure it out still.
Unfortunately for me, I got to stick around here.
It's more for me. It's more about the, just everything that has to be done around here. So it's not that I don't want to go or, something like that, but it's my goal to go. I'll say that. I just got to make it happen. And then there's the whole other thing with work, right? I just started work, so then it's like, hey, January, I'm taking off Thursday, Friday. And, there are 1,500 tickets and ending at 1,600. Okay.
You better get one just in case.
Just in case. Well, I know Lee's got an ace in the hole over there. Renee don't want to go to it anyway. He just bought an extra spare.
Most likely.
Cayman always bumps that up too. He always bumps it up a little bit.
Well, he was talking about possibly 1,800 if he had to.
When I talked to Cayman on the phone earlier in the year, back in the summer, I said, well, there's a thing, right, with company. You get to that point to where all the bills are paid, right? So after that point, every ticket that's sold is profit right out of the gate. So other than, just not being able to fit that many people in there, there's really, is there a reason to stop selling tickets unless you just can't fit them in? Yeah, taking my wife, that's not the issue. My wife would go, but I can't take my mother who's got Alzheimer's. So I would have to get her put with my sister, and then I've got all the animals that have to be taken care of. So it's just a big logistical thing. Bob put on a dress and go with Lee.
He'd be wearing a tag with my name on it too. Because if Renee does happen to go in, it's going to have my name on her tag.
Why is there so many Lees in here?
Yeah. You changed from the live stream. You look different.
Yeah, I'll be in the parking lot selling the mead. I'll have the mead truck in the parking lot.
Speaking of that, let me grab something.
What are you grabbing?
Some more mead.
But if you do want Apis Biologics, the crazy code that was up there the other day of, what was it?
I don't remember what you put the other day. But there's a link to the site.
Stream 10. Stream 10 at checkout.
The bottles that I was telling you that I'd bought that leak.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're plastic. I had to turn around and get glass ones, but they are a little bit different. But at least these don't leak.
You should have just got regular mini bottles, like mini Jack Daniels bottles.
Yeah.
Little square ones.
Well, I was just trying to get these little mini bottles. But
how much are those bottles a piece, the glass ones? $1, probably 80 cents.
I don't remember what I paid for them, to be honest. I think they were actually cheaper than the glass ones.
Than the plastic?
Or than the plastic.
The because I just ordered some little bottles today, and I think they were wherever my mouse is. Here it is.
The plastic ones I paid right at $70 for 96 of these bottles.
No, I got plastic ones.
Yeah, it's less than 70 cents a bottle.
The glass ones I paid $65 for 72 of them. So no, it was a difference.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate all of you. Chris, Tim, we definitely appreciate you guys coming to bail us out since everybody else sucked tonight and didn't come join us.
No, you know, this is the try. I was just
Good
seeing if I could do it.
And
All right, guys.
And now we know it works. You can come on again.
All right, later.
All
Yeah,
right,
good
guys.
one.
But anyway, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Lee, you better video footage that video.
Like I said, it'll probably be a live stream or a video call straight to you.
A video call.
Yeah.
That's probably more like it. Look at William, man. Someone blocked William. William coming in at 11 after 10, knowing we're getting off.
At least he made it because we were going to get off about 10 minutes ago.
That's true. It always works like that. We try to get off on time, but we end up stretching it a little bit. But anyway, everybody, we appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next stream. And hopefully Lee puts out a video of his fishing trip with the Dirt Rooster and Yappy and Mr. Ed. No, you're not coming in, Frank. We're hanging up on you. Frank joined being smart. He's laughing in the back room. So, nope, he ain't getting in.
All right. Hope everybody has a good night. Thank y'all.
Good night, guys. Bye.